Welcome everyone to Finds of Yesterday, and I'm Lynn, and today we're talking about a bead that caused 100 years of confusion. This bead looks magical, almost modern, but it's older than your grandmother and it's been fooling collectors for decades. This little rainbow bead has caused collectors confusion for over 100 years, and it's been called carnival glass, aurora borealis, or even modern art glass. But today, we're finally setting the record straight. Most people assume this kind of shine means modern, but this effect was being made long before most of us were born, and that's where the confusion starts. What is iris glass? Well, you're looking at it, it is clear, or it could be lightly tinted, and it's glass. So a clear, lightly tinted glass bead. It has internal colored glass of trails or stripes in the combination of these three colors, the red, blue, and green, which a lot of times the red looks pinkish depending on how many layers of glass that the artist used when they were making the piece. So the stripes are inside the bead and not on the surface, and there's no metallic coating, no oil slick, no flash. There's no foil backs on these, except there could be foil in the setting, but not on the actual bead. So the color's internal, the bead body remains clear, and there's no surface treatment. Now you could see stripes of just two of the colors, but they are always the red or pink, blue, and green. What it is not. Iris glass is not carnival glass, it's not oil slick glass, and it's not peacock glass. It also is not aurora borealis or iridescent flashed glass, and that was mid-century made, and these pieces are early 1900s, late 1800s. This is where sellers and sometimes buyers go wrong. Iris glass is not carnival glass, and it's definitely not plastic. Using the wrong term can completely change how a piece is valued. I see this mislabeled all the time, especially as aurora borealis. AB is related, but it's a different process and usually later, like in the 50s. Here's where things get interesting. Two different countries used the same basic idea and created two very different looks. So the Germans in the 1950s to about the 70s created the surface coating on glass, and that was done by Swarovski. And a lot of people relate iris glass to this, and it is not. It's aurora borealis coating. That's what it is. It does not have the internal RGB stripes, which is red, green, blue. And Czech iris glass was done earlier, from the 1890s to the 1920s, and it has them RGB stripes in it. It does not have any surface coating like the aurora borealis. The color's on the inside. And Czech was always known to do higher quality glass. The composition was higher quality. And they also did unique shapes and sizes. And they're frequently used in vintage jewelry, not so much modern. So how do we date iris glass? Well, Czech iris glass tends to be earlier, from the Edwardian into the Art Deco period. And the colors are softer, the shape's more delicate, and you'll often see them in necklaces, stick pins, and early dress clips. You can look at the bead holes, the stringing, the clasps, the settings, the markings, the colors, and the craftsmanship to determine what the date is on them. Here's my rule. The bead gets your attention, but the construction tells the truth. Clasps, stringing, and bead holes give the age, and the three colors verify it. What makes it valuable? Well, rarity, It's made in the 1890s to the 1920s approximately, so that's a earlier time frame, and it is a little bit shorter of a time period, so the scarcity of these pieces is what gives it more value, more rarity, and the condition, of course. If anything's chipped, it's going to have less value. If it has a manufacturer name on it, that could definitely give it more value. And it's an early Czech piece, that's what gives it value. And the unusual bead shapes, that's another feature to look for. The round ones, the simple rhinestones aren't going to be as much as the elaborate shaped beads. Look for original stringing. If it's all original, that's going to give it a higher value. And of course, if it's a matching set, it has the necklace, the bracelet, and a brooch or earrings, that's going to give it higher value. The earlier and more unusual the bead shape, the more collectors pay attention. So original construction is a huge plus. For example, here is a very unique shaped bead. It's going to be of a higher value just because of the shape of it. Plus you incorporate iris into it, then you have some value there. So calling something by the right name isn't just about being correct, it affects how it's understood, collected, and priced. By using the correct names in your listing, you will connect with the right person or the collector and sell your piece for the best price. Have you ever passed up one of these because you thought it was modern? Or do you own one and you weren't sure about it? Let me know. I love hearing your finds. This is why I love vintage jewelry. Even the smallest bead has a history. So thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe.